Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Mevo Live. My name is Joseph Pisani, and I am a technical specialist here with Mevo and Logitech C. I want to thank you for joining us live. We have a great show lined up for you today. So before I even get started, let's bring in the boys. All
What's
right,
up, man?
Will. And, oh, where'd he go? Oh, Joe's gone. All right. So, oh, there he is. All right. Off to a
There he
great
is.
one.
What's up, man?
So, all right. So, we got an awesome show today, guys. We're pretty excited about it. So, if you are just joining us, we are live. We are on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook at Mevo Camera on all those channels. So, what's going on, fellas? How are we doing today?
It's an exciting day. I'm excited. We've been preparing and talking about it for a little bit over a week now, how we were going to do this and how we were going to execute. And it's exciting because it's the first time we've gotten to do something for Logitech C since we've been acquired. So it's exciting to it's kind of a new start of a new era.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, we're gonna be showing off our new product today. Some of you might have already seen it, but if you haven't already, it's gonna be an exciting show. It's the reason that we look so good. So it's exciting.
True.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So before we kick it off with our topic today, let's talk a little bit about our setup. So for those of you who've been watching us for over a year or so, may have noticed some differences going on in our shows. So Joe, why don't you take us through what your setup looks like right now?
Sure. For today's show, I'm using a single Mevo Start. This is running via USB using the wired webcam function. And I have a blue baby bottle that is running to my Go XLR. The Go XLR is connected directly to my computer, and we're good to go. And then after that, I've got the lights we're talking about. I'm using some Litra lights. So we'll talk a little bit more about those specifically shortly.
Absolutely. All right, Will, what do you got going on your end?
Yeah, so I am using a Mevo Start connected to my computer with wireless webcam. And then for audio, I've got this blue baby bottle, which is connected to an M Audio Air mixer. And then from there, it's actually going into an iPad Pro, and the iPad Pro is sending audio back to the Mevo. So nice and complex there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So on my end, I'm doing something similar. I do have the blue baby bottle. So if you're familiar, I have a very similar setup. What I'm using though is I'm using external outboard gear. So I'm actually running my microphone through an outboard compressor, and then that's going back routed into a mixer, and that mixer is going to a headphone amp, and then that amp is going to all my Mevos for my audio. And of course, I'm using the Mevo Start and wireless webcam mode right now.
So many different ways.
It looks like, it looks like we have a lot of different options, which is just showing the versatility of the equipment that we're using. So awesome. So what are we talking about today, guys? If we want to do streams like this and you have all this equipment, you want to really like get out there, first thing you got to do is you got to look good, right?
Yeah.
So how do we? So we're talking lights today. We got so many requests about lighting and setting up lighting, and we were just waiting for today to really set us off. So we're going to be showing you a brand new product from Logitech C. This literally just came out, I believe it was Thursday. And this is the Litra Glow. So why don't we take a look at that real quick, and then we'll dive more into the importance of lighting and how it affects your streams.
Nice. Nice.
Awesome.
Love those.
What do we think about that?
Love those
What do we
videos.
think?
Get you
They're
hyped.
really good. Yeah.
Marketing team does a great job on those.
Awesome. Yeah, they really do. I mean, that was a great video and really shows off what we're talking about today, which is the Litra Glow. And this is a great it's a great new light. We've actually been able to test this out for a couple months now, and it's awesome. It's worked out great for us. It has a lot of features on it that are things that you might not thought you wanted, right? Especially this mount, which we are raving about. So what
Yeah.
we're going to do today, we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of lighting, and which I'm going to go to Will. So Will, as far as like, when you're doing a stream like this or a show like ours, or you're on the internet, right, or you're using a Mevos love light, right? So take us through like how is light affecting your stream? Why is it important?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously for the camera itself, a lot of light really helps. With the Mevo, we've said so many times that the more light that you can give it, the better your picture quality is going to be. This is the same for almost every camera, but certainly for the Mevo as well. And it really does make a dramatic difference. I think we've covered in past shows a little bit about the importance of lighting. I remember doing a demo where we had one camera pointed at something with no light versus one camera that had lighting, and it was just a huge dramatic difference between the two. It's just a clearer picture overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're talking about what the camera is looking for. I mean, the cameras work just like every other camera. It's a lens and it's opening up to take in light. So the more light you have, the more detail you're going to get in your images. So as far as Joe, now you have a Litra setup going on right now.
Yep.
But tell us a little bit about how you're managing your light.
Sure. So, I mean, being surrounded by monitors, it kind of helps a little bit, but because of that, I can mount these on each monitor. And when we do the unboxing, we'll actually show you how the mounting mechanism works and what it looks like. But it being so flexible, I can put it on my desktop monitors, and I can also put it on, say, a laptop monitor. But I get to manage all of my lighting within G-Hub. And once again, we'll talk about that and show you a little bit about what that looks like. But I can adjust everything from my Litra Glow using my G keys on my keyboard and using G-Hub. So it's super cool. Turn them on, turn them off, a bunch of really cool features to do all of the adjustments.
Absolutely. And it's just really important too with something like the Litra Glow, where you have options as far as brightness, you have options as far as your temperature, your color temperature, and that can really kind of change the mood of your stream for sure, right? Where whether or not you're fully like washed out, or if you're too red or something like that, it really affects how people are watching you. So it's important to dial that in, and we're going to do that today for you. We're actually going to do a live demo. Joe's going to walk us through it, and we're going to dial him in and make sure that we get his lighting exactly right, which it looks great now, but we're gonna destroy
we're gonna mess it up.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here. So I think at this point, let's just go right back. Let's go right into it. What do you guys say? You guys ready for that?
Yeah, we can swing over to the box.
Yeah, let's swing over to the box. Let's check it out. Let's see here. Bam. All right, Joe, why don't you head over there? And we'll bring up the box in the main screen here. There we go.
Perfect. There we go. Wonderful. Awesome.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I mean, just to kind of talk about this real quick, I know I'm a little bit far from my mic. Will's going to talk us through it, but just to kind of give an example of how important lighting is, when we were setting this up, I had to put a light on this just to improve the actual capturing of the light itself. So anyway, sorry, Will, go ahead and take it from here.
No, it's all good. So obviously the big thing here is that we've got the Logitech for Creators brand there. And that is, why the box is this color orange. And this is the first big lighting product from Logitech for Creators. And so it's really, really cool to kind of see this. You've seen it in the stores. I think Logitech G has the blue coloring. So this is Logitech for Creators, and I think that there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming down the road. So stay tuned for that. And of course, follow everybody on the social media. You'll see at the bottom of your screen, Logitech C is on all of those social networks. So be sure to follow so you know that everything that happens.
Absolutely. So go ahead and flip that box over, Joe. I want to see what the back of that box looks like real quick. Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. So you'll notice that we've been transitioning to this orange type theme, and this is the theme you're going to see throughout the Logitech for Creators products as we move throughout the year. So not only this, but we have a lot of stuff lined up really aimed at those creators. So when you flip over this box, you'll see here, and on the icons here, it'll tell you all about the product. So even if you're just in a store and you see an orange box, pick it up, grab it, flip it over, and see what the features are. All right. So what do you say? You guys want to pop this open? Or let's talk about the box a little bit. Some of the options on the front there. What is the box telling us?
Yeah, so you can see on the front of the box that light bulb right there. That's representing TrueSoft. And if you don't know what TrueSoft is, we have a nice little description on the back of the box. But basically, it's to give you really color accurate lighting so that you look the way that you're supposed to look, basically. You've used many lights, I'm sure, that are different brands. I know a lot of people use the kind of no-name brands on Amazon for ring lights and stuff like that. And you don't quite look right or quite look like yourself. So what's great about this is that it's really it's accessible for everybody's skin tones. It really makes you look really, really good.
Awesome. So
And then
yeah, what do you say? Go ahead.
So I was just gonna say if you go down to the next icon there, that's talking about, and we mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, is about the desktop control. So you'll get to see a demo of that soon. So we won't get into that too much. And then of course it connects via USB, and that's what that final icon is. So I think that's it. Let's dive in. I'm excited.
Let's pop it open.
Nice. Look at that form factor, man.
Litra Glow. Yeah, and we're actually getting a pretty good idea of the size of this as well. You can see it fits right in Joe's hand there. You see it has a swivel top. Now, Joe, or Will, tell us a little bit about that mount.
Yeah, so that is a really cool stand that has a lot of different kind of cool features about it. Obviously, you can kick out that part, or you can unscrew it as Joe's doing right now. So this is interesting. This is a 1/4 inch, 1/4 20 screw. So this is the same type of screw that's on like the standard tripods that you use. It's the same one on the bottom of the Mevo. So if you wanted to use a different stand, whether it's a desk stand or a tripod or something like that, you could certainly do that. And of course, you could use the stand with any other product that has a 1/4 20. Another thing about this screw is you can see that Joe can continue to tighten it, right? And the great part about this is it will never fully lock in place. And the reason for this is that, sometimes you really want to get a specific angle of the light, and you just can't do it a lot of the times, because if you unscrew too much, then it'll be really loose and wobbly. Or if you screw it too much, then it'll get really tight and you might damage it. So we have this great proprietary technology where you can just continue tightening it, even though it is at, a very secure tightness and everything like that. But you can get that exact angle that you really want to get for your setup.
Yeah. And
then,
Joe, how's that feel to you?
Yeah.
Let's just talk about that for a second. So when you spin it, again, we're going counterclockwise because clockwise to tighten it. But Joe, how's that feel when you're spinning it? Like, does it feel secure? Does it feel loose?
It feels like it would any like normal mounting mechanism, right? But you just get to keep going. And I guess, when you do it, it's definitely secure. You don't have to worry about it going anywhere. But it's interesting because like any other mounting mechanism, when you're actually trying to loosen it, you have to go like one full rotation and it'll pop. So like right there. And you'll see now it's loose and I can actually continue to take it off. And then when I tighten it here, and you can feel it. There's like it's almost like a wall. And when you hit that wall and you continue to go, that's when you know it's secure. And at this point, you can just rotate it however you see fit.
That's great. So it has a nice tactile feedback on the feeling when you're rotating it. So you're not, breaking anything, and you shouldn't feel like you're breaking anything either.
Absolutely.
Right. And of course, you can see the cable management there on the back. And we'll be able to kind of show you a better demo of how it's used. But, we want you to have very clean setups. A lot of different content creators and streamers, and even people that, use this kind of thing for working from home, Zoom calls or something like that. You don't like wires everywhere. You like to have a clean setup. And so cable management is actually built into this stand. So that's really nice.
Yep. And as you can see there, Joe's extending the mount. So you can actually, again, this mount is meant to be clipped on a monitor, and you can adjust the height, not just the left and right swivel, but you can also adjust the height. And if you look there, that's where it'll mount on the back of a monitor. And then you could choose your distance away. So if the light's a little too close, light's a little too far, you have some adjustments that you can make there as well.
Yep.
We're huge fans of this mount, in case anyone is wondering.
Really, statement. The light too, but definitely the mount as well.
And then the last thing to really point out is, as you can see, it's got physical buttons. You know that we talked a little bit in the beginning that you can control it via software, which we'll get into, but you also have the option to control both the brightness as well as the color temperature using the buttons.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you have brightness on one side and color temperature on the other. The button in the middle is simply to turn it on and off.
Yep.
Cool.
Yes, and of course the USB-C port. Always exciting. Yep. Cool.
Yep. Awesome. So that's the Litra light. Let's take a look at the QSG and see what they offer us, just so you guys get a better idea of what we're mounting it to the monitor here. So this is a great illustration showing you the different angles and different types of things you can mount this to specifically. So it can go on laptops, it can go on computer monitors. If you have an iMac, it works great for that. And again, you can judge your distance off the monitor or off the lid of your laptop, depending on what you need and what's required for you. And then on the other side, this is showing our options. So if you look at the two options that we had on the back of the light, the plus and minus, that's going to be your brightness, right? And then the snow and sunlight, that's going to be your temperature. So the snowflake representing a cooler temperature, and then obviously the sun representing the warmer temperatures. And of course, we have a QR code on this guide. So if you do purchase this light and you need to learn a little bit more about it, I always recommend use the QR codes with any project coming from Logitech, because that'll just bring you to the home base for that product where you can learn everything there is to know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to mention before you put that away, Joe, is if you see those the icons below the pictures of the buttons, this shows that you can actually adjust the brightness and the temperature by pressing the button in for incremental leaps in the brightness and temperature. But you can also press and hold, and this will gradually change the brightness or the temperature. So you can find that exact sweet spot for your setup.
Absolutely. So Joe, why don't we go ahead and why don't you set that up, and I'll show our audience here some of the setups that we have pre-made already. Let's take a look here. So this is the monitor setup that you would normally kind of see. So if you look here, we have the Stream Cam, we have the Yeti, we have the Litra right on top of the monitor. And what I like about this picture here is it's showing you that you can be on either side of the monitor, and you don't have to worry about the weight so much, like tilting one way or the other. This light is extremely lightweight, so it really, there's no issues there as far as like tipping your monitor over or closing your lid or anything like that. And as you can see here, for example, this is one that's showing on a laptop and in a more of a, I guess, dusk type setting. So you can see the temperature of that light is appropriating for that setting as well. Or if you have something like this is a nighttime setting. So again, the temperature and the brightness is adjusted for that setting. And you can make all these settings presets inside your G Hub. Sweet. All right. Oh, not that one. Where's the other Joe? There we go. All right, so we're going to kick over to Joe real quick because he has an awesome view of Joe's setup. If I can find which one is this. Oh, there it is.
It's a great setup there, Joe.
Thank you.
Look at that. So for those who ever wondered what Joe Mevo does or the other side of his camera looks like, there it is. Probably the most coolest setup I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
very
for
impressive.
Sure. I do want to mention, though, before we move on, that so this does come with a cable, just to be clear. In the packaging does have a USB-A to USB-C cable, which is going to help keep it powered up. And typically, we recommend having a USB 3 power source at a bare minimum. But you can also use, standard wall plugs and things like that to provide the power source, or plug it into like it is USB-C, so you could technically plug it into like a MacBook or something as well.
Right. And you said that was a C to A, right?
Correct.
Right. All right, cool. All right.
Awesome.
So let's go back to, let me just spotlight you here real quick. So as you can see, Joe has two Litra glows on either side. So if you spin that camera around, Joe, let's see what that's actually doing to you.
Sure. Let me go ahead and swap this over to this guy. Awesome. So I'll go ahead and power these off, and you can see the difference here. Oh, of course, my keyboard and G-Hub wants to update as soon as I do that. There we go. Awesome. So now this is with the lights off. I've got no lights on me whatsoever, just monitor lighting. And then if I turn it back on, you can see it brings some life to me, and it's not so dark. And of course, we've talked about it for so long about how Mevo cameras and all cameras in general, this isn't like a new thing, right? All cameras want light. But being we are Mevo, we absolutely recommend having lighting all the time. And as you can see, this makes a huge difference. It's a complete different scenario. I get washed into the background here. With all of the different colors back there, I'm just part of the background, where this brings me to the forefront, where now I'm the concentrated subject. And having one on each side really gives me balance on both sides of my face, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it looks great. It's such an improvement.
It really does. And what's nice is it doesn't ruin your RGB lighting behind you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like a huge, ridiculous brightness.
Yeah, it's hitting me as the subject opposed to my surroundings, which is the point, is to bring you to the forefront and leave the background in the background. And of course, we played with it earlier, and what we can do it now as well is before the show started, I was showing you all how if I go to cool, you can see my skin tone here. My skin tone is turning a little bit paler, but where I bring it a little bit more warmth, you can see it's bringing some color to my skin tone, which is perfect. And I can do this, of course, using the tactile buttons on the back, or I can use G-Hub, which is what I'm doing now, and I can show you how easy that is to set up as well. And I can also show you me actually using my G keys, and you can see the real-time changes that the lights are making every time I press it. So I can jump back over to that view.
Yeah, let's do that. So let's want to do the screenshot for your G keys so we can show them.
We can do both. Yeah, if you do G keys and then, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. So as you can see here in G-Hub, I've got a variety of different Logitech products that all feature G keys. So the mouse has some, the keyboard has some, and even my headset, which I didn't know until Will told me yesterday. Even my headset actually offers a button on there that I can turn my lights on and off if I was to assign the G key. But we're going to keep it simple and use the 5 settings over here. And as soon as I click on my keyboard, you can see that I've got my 5 G keys over here. And of course, you can map these differently. So you can map these differently in G-Hub. And you can have multiple different settings. So I've got a profile specifically for my lighting where I can turn it on and off, make it cooler, warmer, dimmer, brighter. It's pretty much hits everything, which is, so if you need a keyboard, I definitely recommend this one because it's got every setting you could possibly need for a light. So once again, if I just press this button here, turns my lights off, and I can just press it again, turns it back on.
Do that one more time. I got the full screen on you. Nice.
Now I can adjust my temperature. So we go, this is max cooling. Now let's go to max warmth. And this is all just from pressing the G keys. And then we have, of course, brightness as well. So we can go even brighter if we wanted to, and we can even go lower. And let's go back over to my other shot, and then we can show exactly what that actually does when it comes to brightness and things.
Yeah, let me give you your... There you go.
Awesome. So my lights are on right now. And whoa, I just went to max brightness. So if we go down to low, and these are barely even on, you can barely you can see, so it's interesting because you can actually see some lighting on it. But if we go ahead and make these a little brighter, whoa, max brightness, and then we can step down. So each time I press the G key, it's stepping down that setting for brightness. And now you can kind of see it finally disappearing from my face. And this is the lowest setting Okay, now we're at the max setting. So now if we go from the max warmth to the cooler temperatures, you can see I get a little bit more blue, even palish at points. But when you add some warmth back, it brings me some color back to my skin, which is I didn't realize how pale that thing could make me look.
That's such a good range to really fit any kind of environment that you're in. Obviously, Joe's in a very blocked off room right now with RGB lighting, but it's also great, if you have, a wall of windows and there's all sorts of sunlight, you can find that exact color that you want to get.
So
and
let's
of
talk
course,
about controls for a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, well,
No,
because
go for it.
as you can see, Joe's doing everything using G Hub. So if you show G Hub right here, he has the keyboard, a Logitech keyboard that he can do the G keys with. But that's not the only way you can control this light, right? So you can actually control the light itself inside of G Hub. So maybe you could show us that, Joe.
Sure. So if we go back to the actual the lighting over here, I can scroll to the side. I can't see my arrow because my Mevo's in the way. You can see my two Litra Glows are listed. So I just click on one and you'll be introduced to, a little step-by-step to get you familiar with what's going on. We've got power on your Litra Glow to get started. We've selected a camera for you, but you can change it here. So it's got a little camera preview here, which is awesome. So now you guys can see both of the camera sets. And so that you can see the real life changes that are being made. Adjust your color temperature, brightness settings to achieve the perfect look, and explore our one-click presets or create your own. And I think that is key, is kind of creating your own to kind of remember, this was my configuration, and I'm using that configuration again. Let's go ahead and apply my lighting for a tried and true configuration. And then you could, of course, assign your G keys like it says.
Yeah, of course.
And that's important to... Sorry, well, I keep... Go ahead.
It's all good. I was just going to say that, when Joe was setting up his G keys, he was doing incremental changes, brightness and dimmer and whatnot. But you can actually set up a G key to a preset. So one of the default presets or using your own custom preset. So that's a quick way to get the exact lighting for maybe that specific time of day that you create content, stream, have important work calls or anything like that.
Yeah, especially if you're in like an open setting where you do have a window and you do have some natural light coming in. As you're using this, if you're using this for hours on end, that lighting is going to change. And so now you can set your presets to kind of adjust for those lighting changes, depending on when and what time of day you're actually doing your stream. So, Joe, is this the only way to control it from G Hub? But we have other controls on the back, too. So if you don't have a G Hub keyboard, or if you don't have G Hub at all, you can absolutely control all of these settings with the buttons on the back of the light. So you can physically control them as well.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can get this plugged into my board here, and we can actually show the buttons on the back and how those step up. And I know we described it a little bit, but see if I can get this to power on. Okay, I was wondering. I was like, could very well be my USB hub over here causing some issues. Okay, so by just pressing the power button on the back, you can see it powered on. We've got the plus over here, and like Will was saying, we could tap it, and you can feel very clearly when you press it. The tactility of it makes it clear that you're making a press. And then you can see the changes in brightness going on, and then of course you've got the warmth, and you've got the cooling temperature over here. Now, and what Will was saying is if I hold down, it gradually changes. So if I just hold it down, you can see that changing. And then I hold this down, it slowly changes, where you can kind of set it up effectively. Now, what's kind of a really cool feature is that since I have these evenly placed on both sides of me, I kind of want them to match. I don't want them to be awkwardly set, and I don't want to have to go back between both of them to configure them. I want to be able to set them and it apply to both lights. And that's what it allows you to do as well, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can control both lights. You don't have to be like you don't have any guesswork between what setting am I on if you're going between certain points. So on the back of that, correct me if I'm wrong, there's 5 clicks as far as like clickable changes for the color temperature, I believe.
I believe so.
I believe it's 5. But if you hold it, it goes through the whole gamut. So when you're clicking it, it's actually skipping levels in brightness. So for example, like going from like 2500, it'll skip over to 3500, but you won't get 3000. But when you glide it and you hold it down, you'll actually get each incremental change. And also in G Hub, which we can show here, you have a slider. So you can just go from the full gamut there. And notice that you'll see it change inside of G Hub as well. So you do get that visual representation.
Mm-hmm. And you can also check out the camera. Right now, Joe's got one of his wireless Mevos connected as the camera, but you can also select any other camera that's connected to your computer. You can see he's got a bunch of virtual cameras and a few other Mevos. So you can just use that camera preview to get the perfect lighting for your setup. Maybe you want to set that up before using Zoom or OBS. It's really, really easy.
Yeah. And we didn't show how to do the profiles, but basically what you're going to do for that is you essentially just press the setting you want. Say I want to memorize this one, and come down here and just create new preset, give it a name, and it'll just be like live show. Whoa. Didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
Live show, and I can save it. Now I've got this preset that I can always go back to in here. And you can always go in here and you can modify it. You can copy and duplicate it, or you can delete it. And I won't be using this one because that light makes no sense for this. So we're going to go back over here.
So is G Hub available when you purchase this light?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you can get
So
G Hub for free. You can download it at any time.
Yeah, and you'll see when you do the QR code in the quick start guide, it'll actually link you to G Hub too. And I think there's a link on the box as well. So if you haven't messed with G Hub yet and you are using Logitech products, even if you're using a mouse and a keyboard, I'm sure some of you have noticed. Joe, if you go to your main G Hub screen,
sure.
Let's just look at your gamut of stuff here. So we have the mice, the keyboard, the headset, the lights, all working together within one program, which is really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
And this also applies to the blue microphones as well, the blue USB microphones.
Yep.
The Yetis. Yep.
And your stream cam and all that fun stuff. So if you've got any Logitech products and you haven't already downloaded and installed G Hub, I highly recommend doing it because it may be supported and you may be able to do some really cool extra things with it.
Awesome.
Good.
So I want to show our audience a little quick little video of just how some streamers have been using the Litra Glow. They got their hands on it a little early and they tested it out, and we got some great results from that. And then from there, let's open it up and we'll maybe answer some questions that people might have about the Litra Glow.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
All right.
My story wouldn't be possible without
music,
design, my friends,
gaming,
humor, podcasting, community,
passion.
My story wouldn't be possible without light.
Light.
I found my light through making people laugh.
After I stopped obsessing about other people's opinions.
When I felt like I had the right equipment.
Bathing in myself, no matter what.
That's awesome. Feel free to go back and pause that last screen and follow all of our creators that work with Logitech C. As you can see, a lot of different use cases for the Litra Go is in a lot of different positions. And even in the middle, when she turns it on, it's just a immediate improvement in what you're seeing on the camera, which is awesome.
One thing we haven't really touched on yet is like finding your glow and kind of keeping it, right? One of the things that these are and Litra in general, Litra lights under Logitech have been wonderful because you can use them for extended periods of time without harm to yourself, your eyes, your skin. Like these are one of the only lights, I believe, is what they were explaining to us, wasn't it? Is that this is one of the only lights on the market where you can run these for 16 plus hours and not have to worry about negative effects.
Like eye fatigue, things like that. So it actually uses a specific technology. It's called TrueSoft technology. So it's hard to show on the cam here, but when you have the lights in front of you, which we all have right here, it's not piercing the eyes, right? It's a soft light that it makes it so like you can be in front of them for hours on end and you don't get like a weird lighting headache, or you don't get any type of like negative effects just from having a light shine on you for long periods of time. It's really, really great. And part of that is in the design, right?
Built-in diffuser right there.
Exactly.
Solid.
And that's what it is. Yep.
Super solid.
So overall recap, the Litra Glow, it's a great light USB. You can work with G Hub. Has the monitor mounts or the lid mounts included with it. is detachable. So if you did want to pop this on a mic stand or some other type of stand in a different spot, you can absolutely do that. So all around, I mean, this is a pretty great light.
Yeah, and I think one of the most kind of exciting things about it is its price point. You know, at $59.99, like that is a really good price for this kind of light. So if you're just starting to create content, just starting to stream, you know, or you just want to improve your Zoom call setup, you know, it doesn't hurt to look really good on your Zoom calls. You know, it's always nice to have that boost of confidence. So it's a good just entry into that area where you can just pick up a light and really improve your setup dramatically. And of course, you can do more than one light. It's connected to G Hub. You saw Joe has 2. You could even do 3 if you wanted. So yeah, it's really easy to scale that as well.
And
Absolutely.
let's talk about form factor for a second as well. Like, I know most lights that people get, especially entry level, they're really almost immediately, the first instinct is, let's go to Amazon, let's type in photography or videography or streaming lights, and the first thing you see are giant box lights for entry level photographers, essentially is what it is, and they're usually attached with like green screens, but they're huge. They're absolutely huge. And these literally can fit in the palm of your hand. So whether you're at home like me working, or you're on a business trip, or you're going anywhere and you just want to take your, like Will was saying, your Zoom calls to the next level, or if you're streaming and you can't take your hardware with you, you can fit this in your pocket, in your book bag. And it's almost like Mevo, right? That's one huge thing we say. You can put Mevo in the palm of your hands. You got this production. Now you've got 2 palms. So now you're taking up with the light and Mevo. But the thing is, such small form factor, and you're boosting your stream quality, or even Zoom calls to a whole nother level.
Yeah, to that point, I mean, like just the thinness of it. If you have a laptop bag, you can have 3 Mevos and 2 of these ready to go, literally in a laptop bag, and you have a beautiful setup to have a nice stream.
Of course, we've got a lot of Mevo users in the chat right now. So just to kind of give you a better example of like the size, is it's thinner than a Mevo Start, and just about that's even thinner than the width as well.
Yeah, a little bit more square in the width.
So yeah, very easy to take with you.
Easy to carry around. Yeah, and like you said, that price point, it's $59.99 US. You know, the next decent light in this category, I think, is like $120. Like it's a pretty big jump up when you talk about what you can do and what you can get out of it. So awesome.
100%.
Also with with cheaper lights, I just want to say real quick is with cheaper lights, you know, you are saving the money, but your color accuracy is so poor that it's almost not worth it. So yeah. That's
an excellent point, because especially if you're blending with other lights, you know, if you have one light set for the max cool setting, you want to be able to match that, right? Even if it's a different brand, and some of the lower end ones don't have the ability to do that. So what do you say? Looks like we got chats going pretty strong right now. So what do you say we dive into chat? Let's answer some questions. Let's talk to some of our listeners here.
Let's do it.
Viewers. All right. Right off the bat, Fred the Hippo saying hello. Fred, thanks for joining us as always. Always crushing it.
What's up,
Gordon,
Fred?
hello. Ben asked no in-ear monitors today. They're available. I have them here. I decided to go with the cans today just because they're a little bit more comfortable sometimes. Honestly, it's kind of like whatever I feel like that morning.
Yeah, and I
Joe was
didn't
using his headset because he had to move around a little bit. Yeah,
and it's and it has a G key on it, so if I needed to demo it, I could use my headphones that have a G key. My IEMs don't have G keys.
Oh, we didn't even mention that. So for those wondering what he's talking about, you can actually control the lights using the headset.
Yeah. So G headsets have that one G key button. So if he wanted, he could program that to on and off. He could program that to a preset, whatever it is.
Yeah. So think if you're someone who's a gamer on Twitch or something like that, and you just want to like get to your setup, turn it on, and go, you can just bang it on. There he goes. Let's give you the full screen treatment when you're doing that stuff. Yeah.
Boom.
Pretty cool.
That is
That.
so sick, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's so
I love
cool.
that.
It's so cool.
I like it
All
because
right,
like often I want to like when it's the end of the night, man, and I'm just like I want to go to bed. Like it's just so easy to just I don't have to like go
Wonderful.
behind it,
Yeah.
press buttons, power everything down. It's just like I wish my monitors did it because I don't typically put my computer to sleep. So I wish my monitors would do the same thing. But I'm happy my lights at
Everything
least do.
controlled by G keys.
Yeah.
I feel you.
All right. Canon Mink says, "Are you guys using OBS?" We are not. We're actually using Melon. It's melonapp.com if you want to check it out. It's a great application. It's been doing very well for us this year. Essentially, with this, you could do what you see here, right? You could do screen sharing. You could do multiple guests. You can do multi-destination streaming. So a lot of options with Melon. And we have, oh, look at this. Logitech for Creators coming in on YouTube saying, "Hi, Mevo team. What's up? Logitech for Creators team, our brethren under the umbrella of Logitech
fam.
here."
Our Logi fam.
Gordon says, "Nice promo." Yeah, they did a great job with those promos, man. Yeah. The marketing department here, they work so hard. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so here's Ben has a question. So it's not an RGB.
Correct.
Who wants to take that one? Yeah.
No, no different colors, just temperature.
All right.
Show and tell.
Great.
Lightning.
Got some lightning emojis coming in. Show and tell day, sweet. Yeah, we're gonna try and do this more. I mean, anytime Logitech comes out with a new thing that we can talk about, we're gonna jump all over it. So it says, this is a good question. Can the light, and this is for Joe here, can the light be controlled in the Mevo multicam app?
I wish it could. I see a future where that could potentially be possible, but as it stands right now, no. But where it comes to Logitech for Creators, we're always looking for ways to improve everything that we're building, whether it's new hardware, software, compatibility. And when it comes to creators, we understand that everybody wants a one tool to control all of their things. Like they don't want to have to switch different company software and things. So, you know, I'm sure we got Logitech for Creators in here, so we got marketing in here for sure. I'm sure somebody out there is listening, and I'm sure that's probably one of the first things they'll hear. There's going to be a conversation about it. I'm sure it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the idea behind G Hub, right? As having a one-stop place where you can control all of your devices, right? It's kind of like the idea we got there, and like you saw Joe's. I mean, we're pretty much there. Okay, another question about the software. We're using Melon. Okay, so let's talk about temperature a little bit. Will, do you want to just give us an idea of like what we're talking about when we're looking at temperature for the light?
Yeah, so let me find one of my many mice. Yeah, so the temperature can be adjusted both on the buttons and in G Hub. It really depends on how I am using the light, if I'm like walking around or I'm just sitting at my desk streaming. But I typically use G Hub. And as you can see, I can go from very, very cool for more of a lighter skin tone to very warm. I want to look a little bit tan.
So for those, if you're in photography or if you're looking for the actual numbers on that, I have them right here. So the range is from 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. So to put that in perspective, 5600 Kelvin is daylight. So that'll be like which believe it or not is actually a cooler light. It really does get confusing sometimes for some people. So daylight is actually blue, which is, I know sounds weird, but it's true. So you can get a little bit cooler than daylight, which you can get to 6500, and then as far as the warmth, you can get down to 27. Yep. Oh, look at this. Logitech has our backs. They're right there. Color temperature range 2700K to 6500K. Awesome. Killing it. All right. Les is in the building. Hello, Les. Nice for joining us. Hey. This is a great question.
And I'm working on it.
We're gonna find out right now
for you live.
Yeah. Jack, so for those, if you're not watching on YouTube, if you're listening, the question is, can I plug the Litra Glow into the Mevo and use power external devices setting on the Mevo? And I didn't even think to try that, and we're going to try it right now.
I'm almost positive we had this discussion during our discussion about the show, And somebody, probably me, because it sounds like something I would think about. I probably said, "Hey, I'll make sure I find that out before the show," and I probably just didn't. So, but we'll get that going, and we'll come back to that answer once we find out. But I've got to boot this camera up.
So this is a great question here. So Craig Skills on YouTube is saying, is that only for desktop or interviews? So it's not. It's really for anything you could use it for. But the target person is for someone who's doing something like this, right? There's someone who has some type of streaming setup, whether it be Zoom or Wirecast or Streamlabs, or if you're on Twitch, YouTube, wherever you are. It's really meant for that type of streaming setting. However, it's still a light, right? And it's still controllable. So you can use it however whatever creative way you want, really. Let's see. Okay, people on your stream changed your lights like on Twitch, like with bits. Oh, that's a good question.
No,
it's not a native. Yeah. It's not a native feature, but I don't see a reason why you wouldn't be able to use something like if this then that. It's not a Logitech C thing. So if you look up if this then that, then potentially. But we've not looked into it, to be honest, and it's not native. So if you do try to do it, I can't promise you that it'll work.
Yeah. Oh, let's say so they can blind you during gameplay. That'd be great.
Sounds about right.
Question here also in production: does it fit on the Mevo? It actually doesn't fit on the Mevo. So there's no mount for that yet. Maybe someone can create something.
There are things on Thingiverse. There are files from Jason Hoffman. I think he released one. I've got one right here actually, but it's not his, but yeah, there are mounts like that.
Yeah, so those are like old shoe mounts specifically for the Mevo. You can put any line on, really.
Right.
Cool.
But it is the standard quarter 20 screw. So any kind of mount that you use, whether it's something that you bought on Amazon or it is something that you make like Joe, it will screw on for that same quarter 20.
All right, so we have some questions here about. So Greg's asking, is it best to use a Logitech or a Logic mic with Mevo instead of using like a Rode Wireless? That bases on your use case scenario, right? So it really depends on what you're doing and what your needs are. I always say go with whatever works best, whatever sounds the best, whatever is you understand on how to use. Just because this way you're not digging yourself into a hole that you can't get out of, But no, it's not mandatory to use a Logitech mic or anything like that with Mevo.
Blue Yeti is definitely an easy way to go. So
yeah, plug and play.
If you want something that's very simple, then Blue Yeti Nano, Yeti X, all those are good options.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great one from Tyrone. What's up, Tyrone? Hey fellas, it's Tyrone. I made the switch to Twitch. All right,
nice.
That's what we like to see. Tyrone, let us know how the video quality is. I feel like Twitch just really looks better than mostly everywhere else we stream to. So let us know how it looks. Let us know how we sound, how we're doing. All right.
I'm over here trying like every USB-A to C adapter because I'm just thinking to myself, this should work, but it's not. So I'm just like thinking my adapters are broken.
Mevo might not be giving out enough power. We'll see. Again, it's not.
Right? Yeah, that's all.
Cool. All right, let's get another one going.
All right. Sure. So this is Daryl. What's up, guys? Looking good as always. Thank you, Daryl. We appreciate it. We try. He opened a ticket with us. Haven't heard back yet. Okay, well, we'll look into that. Setting up the Mevo and the Canon Handycam. Any guidance? Well, I don't really know what you mean there. Are you trying to use both cameras in like a Streamlabs setup? Are you trying to get your Handycam into multicam? Because that will not work. Maybe give us a little more detail. I mean, obviously, if you have a ticket, we'll hit up the crew and see if they can pull it and see if they can get an answer on that. We'll need a little more information to answer it here, though. All right. Gordon's chiming in. Been hearing good things about Litra already. Yeah, I mean, it kind of exploded onto the scene last week, and a lot of really good high-end reviewers were looking at it, and they had a lot of good stuff to say. Really, no, I haven't seen any gripes with it yet.
Nope. It's perfect.
Ben, as always, waiting on those multicam updates. Will, anything you could talk to us about multicam?
Unfortunately, we don't have any multicam announcements today, but as always, we are working hard on getting those new features to you, and we want to tell you about them as soon as we can. So there's lots of stuff to be excited about, but nothing today. Today is all about the Litra Glow.
Yeah, and to be fair, no one was expecting us to be talking about this, right? And we have a lot more coming down the pipe this year. It's going to be really fun. Yep, he's saying Tyrone saying that excellent, no lag at all. We look good on Twitch. Awesome, happy to hear about it. It's fantastic. And
so
yeah, yep.
I think the Mevo. So the light requires that 5 volts. So is the Mevo giving it?
Yes.
Nice.
Luckily, Scott's watching, and Scott gave me a good insight. He said, by the way, make sure that webcam mode's off. And I'm like, you're right. I've got webcam mode on. But yes, It does technically, it can be powered by the Mevo. It's wonderful.
Beautiful.
Glorious.
Yeah, so just to be clear, it, like you said, it does need 5 volts power supply. So whatever you're plugging it into, you might run into issues if you're using like a hub and if there's not enough power getting to the light. The only issue you run into is the light might not get as bright, right? Because it's not being powered as much. So we do recommend using USB 3.0 if you have it available, or if you're using a separate portable charger, just make sure that charger's at least 5 volts, which will be most cell phone chargers, most fast chargers will be there. And that should be able to cover you well. If you do run into a situation where you are plugging these lights into a hub and there's a lot of lights on the hub, you might want to think about giving each of the lights their individual power to get the max brightness out of it. Yep.
It's pretty sweet though.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I'm trying to keep it in frame.
That's great, man. Look at that. That's awesome.
Glorious.
Yeah,
glorious.
Fantastic.
Well, let's see. Where are we at?
I got one more on here, and it looks like it's from Brian. And another multicam question. Please help us, folks, with wanting to use multicam with a direct connection to the soundboard. You absolutely can do this. The way you would have to do this would just be running the direct connection of the soundboard to one of the Mevos. So if you're going through the 3.5 of your Mevo Start, let's say, if you have a Mevo Start, I'm sure I have one around here somewhere.
Unfortunately, it looks like he's got that Mevo Plus. So the Mevo Plus and the iRig 2 are also just not going to work together because the iRig 2 is TRRS and the Mevo Plus doesn't have a port at all. But you're probably, because you're using multicam, you're wanting that audio to go into your multicam device, which unfortunately is not available just yet, but it is definitely something that we are looking into. So hopefully soon you'll be able to plug it right into your multicam device.
Yeah, but like I said, as a workaround, you can go from your soundboard 3.5 directly into one of the Mevos that's on the multicam and just use that as your main audio. And then now you have your mixer or whatever soundboard you're using in your multicam stream. All you got to do is mute the other 2 cameras, and that's your main audio.
Boom.
Yeah, and you could also do the Mevo mic app if you really wanted to bring in that iRig audio to your Mevo Plus multicam setup. So that's definitely an option. You have to, of course, set that up in the Mevo 2.0 app first, but after you do that, you're good to go.
All right, we got some follow-up from Daryl here. He said, thanks. Before moving on from the Canon, I believe I heard in a previous episode that I could use a Canon as a secondary camera through the Mevo app. You heard wrong. The Mevo apps only work with Mevo cameras at this time. If someone was could follow up on a ticket, I'll make sure that they follow up with you, Daryl, for sure. But if you're going full on Mevo and you want to do a multicam setup, you have to use the Mevo cameras with the multicam app. If you were doing something where you were using Streamlabs or an OBS system or just any type of other broadcasting software, that's a different story because you can bring any camera you want in. But as far as using it with the Mevo app, it's strictly for Mevo cameras. So I hope that clears that up for you, Daryl. All right, guys. Is the
maybe one more?
This one, sure. One last comment is Canon has an NDI input, right? Good, cool. Good call. So
do the one above, the question above that from Awesome Productions. Yep. So the Mevo, The Mevo is. The Glow is not. The Glow requires a constant power source, and we recommend 5 volts. It needs 5 volts for full power.
Yep.
Full power.
Yeah, so it doesn't run off a battery, but it can run off of if you have a good portable battery or a portable charging unit. If you're
Power
pushing
bank
out
or
that-
something.
Yeah, power bank. You can absolutely run off that.
So
These are less. Thanks.
what we
thanks
have
for
is
saying hi. He's always like, "What's up?"
These are less. So I wanted to show just like a little bit about the mount. So let me do this real quick.
Yeah, let's
Cool.
give you the floor here.
So this is my little MacBook Pro here, and this is how the mount looks. Let's see if I can. Kind of a dirty laptop,
yeah.
but yeah, that's how it connects up. And of course, if I wanted to get a better angle for the light, I can tilt it and raise it up. So just so you can get that perfect angle for your setup. And yeah, really, really easy. We love this stand. Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to jump in there.
No, it's great, and then just because I got to show it.
Yeah, there you go.
So
They're solid.
They're multifaceted products that you can get. The possibilities are really endless.
Yep. Awesome.
All right. Awesome. Well, that looks like it's it for comments right now. So if anyone has any questions about the Litra Glow, you can hit us up on our social medias. Follow us at Mevo Camera, Facebook, Twitter, everything else. Whatever I'm forgetting, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, or you can actually follow Logitech C, and they're on all the socials as well: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. If you have any questions, post up there, and we'll get it to you, or just hit us up on our normal channels. So
Yeah.
before we wrap this up, guys, any last opinions, any last things you want to say about the Litra Glow?
Yeah. If you're really liking it and you're excited to get one, head over to logitech.com. Pick one up.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Love the Glow. Gotta go get one. I already have a couple, but if you don't have one, you should go get one. But kind of off topic or on topic, this is the latest project from Logitech C. So keep it in mind, if you like this product and you like where Logitech C is going and the concepts of everything, make sure to go to facebook.com/Mevo Camera and ensure that you sign up for our user test pool. That way you can give direct user feedback. You can test our products before we release them, give direct user feedback, have a direct impact on how these products come out, because we're building them for you. So be sure to go sign up and become part of our user test pool. That way you can make sure your voice is heard when it comes to our products.
And where was that again?
You go to facebook.com/Mevo Camera. It's going to be in the announcements. It should be the latest announcement, a link to go fill out a Google form to get added to the pool for consideration for selection for it could be various different things. It could be providing feedback for software changes, software releases, new hardware. It could be packaging changes. It could be quick start guide feedback. So it could be many different things, but if you enjoy technology and you want to make sure that we build things that are more suited for you, that's the best way to have yourself heard and make sure we're carving out, solutions for your everyday needs.
Awesome.
Well
Well
said.
said. Well said. Very well said. Okay. So with that said, we can't say any more. So everyone have a great week. We'll be back on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern on all the socials at Mevo Camera. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the week and the weekend. So take care, everyone.
See you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.